Hello, hello, everybody, and welcome back to another LinkedIn Live. It's Monday again, and just a quick message. If you want to watch the replay or if you want to catch up with some of the old shows, you can go to YouTube. We stream also there. Just search for Fail Coach. You'll find the channel. While you're there, subscribe to it if you want to, but then you have a nice cute playlist saying LinkedIn Live, so you can go straight in, and we have like 2 years of interviews there, so you can just start binge watching. But without me going too much into random rambling, we have an amazing guest, Amy, here with us. And Amy, welcome to the show. And
Yeah, thank you.
please tell us a little bit about yourself. Introduce yourself to the audience if you can.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for having me. We had a chat what feels like ages ago, and it's really nice to see you again and just talk more about marketing. My name is Amy Jacobus. I work with service providing business owners, creative entrepreneurs on creating a long-term marketing strategy that builds awareness, drives revenue, and impacts the communities they wish to affect, their ideal clients. I always say I started my business by accident and then I'm building it with intention. And really, we work with our clients in four main ways: everything from one-on-one designing of a long-term brand and marketing strategy together to group mentorship that I run for 12 weeks at a time, where we get together and we hold each other accountable to our marketing goals and our sales goals.
Perfect. Well, one thing that caught my attention in the beginning was marketing strategy. One thing that I see way too often with fellow entrepreneurs is that they come up with an idea, which is usually operational. Let's go on YouTube, let's do something on Facebook, whatever it is. But there's literally no strategy, no plan, no tracking, no KPIs, no nothing. And then they try something and it doesn't work.
Right.
God knows why. And then they're like, well, this is not for us. Facebook doesn't work for us, or TikTok doesn't work for us. But it's the lack of strategy and plan and all of that. So can we please start from there and then move downwards?
Yes.
And yeah, you can say something. Well, maybe explain your process or something, how you do what you do with your clients to put the building blocks top down.
Absolutely. So I am a big picture thinker. I have always been the person, I think someone once called me a project clairvoyant, which I thought was the best compliment, because I'm always thinking like 5 steps ahead in any given moment to a project or a possibility. And the way that I approach marketing is I'm always asking why. And when you start from the ground level tactics and you just say, oh, TikTok is popular now, I want to be on TikTok, and you create one piece of content, then you're not working from the bigger picture, the why. Who is on TikTok that you want to connect to? Why do you want to connect with them? What do you want to say? What kind of conversations do you want to have? What kind of relationships do you want to build? And how does that relate and drive actual business, right? We're all in business. We need to bring in revenue. We need to grow our teams. We need to do the things that allow us to keep running. So not everything can just be based on this is popular and fun. It has to be tied, for me, to some reason, some bigger picture reason. Why are we doing this? And what can it do for the business overall? So I work also with a ton of entrepreneurs who have like shiny object syndrome and see something new and what looks to be fun and entertaining. They try something there for a very minimal period of time. They don't see results because they weren't even looking to track those results, as you alluded to. There's no like insight tracking or data analytics, looking at all of the stuff that comes in as feedback to us as entrepreneurs. And so then they abandon it completely. And it doesn't mean if something doesn't work, it doesn't mean it can't work in the future if you learn from those analytics. So you have to have a reason for showing up in the first place.
And every now and then, somebody does get lucky, just like
Yes.
somebody wins the lottery every now and then, and they put something together and it just works. And it's like the one funnel away thing.
Yes.
And they make 6 or 7 figures or something. But yeah, I don't like working with those odds against me. But yeah, it seems like a whole bunch of entrepreneurs, especially in the last few years, I see people entering entrepreneurial world who don't have any business background, don't have any Harvard Business School background, parents entrepreneurs or something like that. So and they're just winging it,
Yeah.
and that's just not how you win in business.
Right. I
um,
mean, you should be building a business. You should be pretty clear on what that business is, the services you want to provide, the impact you want to make, the people you want to work with. And because I'm working with service providers and creatives, I work with artists, I work with photographers, videographers, web designers, copywriters, people who actually work one-on-one with their clients. They need to know who they want that client to be and what they can actually deliver to them before they do any talking about or marketing or promoting of their services. They have to have a clear idea how they want their business to run. And that dictates for me what kind of business we want to come in and how we want people to journey with us through getting to know us, getting to trust us, buying from us, becoming our advocates and ambassadors, and spreading word of mouth referrals.
Now, Amy, um, the title of this interview, Coffee Chat, is Grounding Your Marketing in Purpose and Humanity, which
Yes.
sounds great. Um, and I mean, I'm all for it. Making an impact, serving your local community, serving the world, going for something that you're super passionate, that's way up beyond you. So
Mhm.
I'm all for that. One thing that I do see very often is that there is this stigma in
Mhm.
entrepreneurship where if you even say that, "Ooh, I'm in it to buy a house, buy a car, I don't know, buy Louis Vuitton bags, whatever it is," uh, people are almost afraid to say that why is also something about them.
Yep.
And sometimes it feels that the whole entrepreneurship just became Miss Universe, like peace on earth, and but not really feeling it, not really
Yes.
being there with the heart. So do you see that a lot with service-based businesses, that they kind of like take themselves away from the why and try to make it a higher purpose just because?
Absolutely. I mean, I think I work with people who, at the heart of it, really are driven by a purpose and passion that's beyond I want to own and run a business. However, you will only be able to accomplish that purpose and passion if you're able to continue to run your business, which means you have to sell your services, you have to make money, you have to pay your employees and your team to keep functioning. And so that sales process is a big piece of being able to make your impact, which is what I usually am explaining if people feel a bit uncomfortable or vulnerable sharing that they also want to pay themselves a salary. I mean, we want to live, we want to buy our groceries and have our homes, just like you said. And even if it's not necessarily to, a luxury degree, we need to make money within our businesses. It's a business at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. So, Amy, once you have that basic information, that top level information, can you maybe just quickly walk us through the main building blocks of a successful marketing strategy? And then we can go maybe into the planning phase, KPIs, what do we measure, how do we measure?
Yeah, so I'll share that the reason I say grounding your strategy in purpose and humanity is the most like resilient and profitable and long-term way forward is because if you don't like your marketing plan, you will not execute your marketing plan. And so when I'm speaking with my clients, I'm speaking to them about like, what are your values and how you show up as a person and how you show up as a business so that you can infuse that as evergreen topics of your messaging and communications throughout your time as a business owner. What are the things that are actually really important to you? Not only that, but also what are your strengths as a communicator? We all process things in different ways. Some people are really great on podcasts and video. Others are, they process through the written word. They're beautiful authors of content. Some people are more visually minded. Like, how do you communicate where you're actually lit up to communicate in that manner? And where is the intersection then with your clients? So I'm always talking about how we have to do the research first. We have to know who you're trying to talk to and reach, where they're hanging out, like where are they on this great wide internet that we all have access to? Are they on LinkedIn? Are they in Facebook groups in their local communities? Are they on Instagram, TikTok? Do they use Google as a search engine for the services you provide? We need to know where people are starting, and then we need to guide them through that marketing journey to really get to know who you are in addition to what you sell.
And from what I understand, instead of doing what a lot of fellow marketers do, they have this cookie cutter one method and you have to do it this way.
Right.
You try to blend where the audience is and then leverage whatever if I'm your client, I'm best at. So if my audience is on Facebook, I don't have to go live if that scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I can just create written post or communicate in my own way, leverage what I'm good at, and pair that with who and where my audience is.
Yes, absolutely. That is perfectly stated. I am always looking for ways to blend the analytical side of things, right? The actual data that's out there that we have access to. Where are people already paying attention to you and your business? And where I work with a lot of people who have already established a level of success. They've just hit a plateau and they want to reach that next level, or they think they're the best kept secret in their industry. They want to be known more widely instead of just rely on word of mouth. And so if you're in that plateau, you're already getting business from somewhere. Let's investigate where it's coming from, why it's coming from there, how can we capitalize on it? So we're looking at your web analytics, your social analytics, these insights and data you have from real human beings that you talk to and work with on a daily basis. All of that analytical side gets mixed with the creative side of how do you want to show up for your business. And from there, I always say, and then we're going to encircle it all with being an actual human, right? Remembering that on the other side of the screen, there are real people you're talking to and building relationships with.
Well, before we go there, so this was more what we were talking so far, the software, the top level stuff. Now, I would love for you to go a little bit deeper into the hardcore stuff. So maybe giving some examples of maybe some tools, for gathering data, for analyzing data, funnels, client journeys, whatnot, whatever we want to call them. So if we can go into that second layer, the more hardcore technical layer, and then we'll come back and do the full circle.
Sure. So when we're doing research with a new client, we do two things. We look at actual numbers. And for numbers, we're looking at the platforms you're already experienced on or have your services and your business active already. So we're going to look at your Facebook data and see who is actually paying attention. Are there forever fans who are commenting on everything of yours? How many posts actually gain attention and traction versus others? Can we see patterns there? Are like videos working better than still images, and why? All of this analytic. And then we're also looking at Google Analytics, right? It's free. Everyone should have it on their website. So we should be able to see who is coming from where, how much time are they spending on the site? Are they getting through the path that they need to get through to get the information they need? And I also make them interview some people they already work with. So we're going to survey and do a Q&A with people who actually work with you now or have in the past to get more about their experience. So we have that anecdotal evidence as well. And beyond all that, we're going to look at your competitive fields. We're going to look at the peers in your industry who you admire and who you don't admire. And we're going to see what they're up to and what's working for them.
So you are combining basically the human-driven research by talking, surveying, and so on, and some data-driven analytics.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, that makes the most sense to combine both worlds. So yeah, now we can take it home and encircle the whole thing. So please.
Sure. So then we're going to talk to you, of course, about how you like to show up, what stories are important for you to tell, how comfortable you are being the face of your business, because in a lot of cases, I'm working with kind of solo entrepreneurs or service providers who have a personal brand. And then in other cases, I'm working with people who are very uncomfortable being the face of their business and want to make sure they're sharing client stories and resources that are just beyond who they are as a person. So we're going to assess your comfort level in different ways, and then just look at it all from an angle of, okay, now let's step back and see how someone who has never heard of you before would get to know you and get to know more about your business and actually make the decision to work together. What does it look like to them? Where are the points of contact that we can make there? And how do we engage and nurture and delight those potential clients along the way and make sure that we're paying attention to their needs as well? So every marketing plan has to be responsive to reassessing, reevaluating, talking to even more of those clients who come in about their experience with us so that we can continue to adapt and evolve and grow.
Great. I was just about to ask you, so once the setup is done, it's not, we set it up once and then we forget about it and it just keeps running. So
right.
What is a good process going forward? How many times should we sit down, do some firehousing, and look back, reflect, look at the data, and then do some little changes and polish up the whole marketing system that we have in place?
Sure. I mean, I think it really depends on your capacity. So I work with small companies who maybe never took the time until we worked together to look at those analytics and really reassess their planning. And so I advise them, start just doing it quarterly. Like, it doesn't even have to be that big of a deal or that big of an investment of time. Set aside one day each quarter to look back at what you've done in the last 3 months and say outright what worked, what didn't, and what you can do to tweak the plan moving forward. If you have a bigger team, if you have more resources, if you have someone devoted primarily to looking at your analytics and data, you can do that more often, and you could probably grow more quickly because you're looking at it weekly, monthly.
Amy, we are just running through this interview because, yeah, I mean, you are just so spot on and saying just enough and not too much. So I have a follow-up question, and
Sure.
this might be an interesting one, and maybe it can open up and make eyes of our viewers, and maybe they can have some aha moments alongside and realize that they need to reach out to you. What are some of the most common inner demons that you see
Mm.
with your clients? So, what are some of the biggest struggles that they have as they go through that process?
Ooh, there's so many. And I've been talking a lot about these in the past couple weeks. I feel like one of the biggest ones is a a fear that what they have to say is not important enough, or that when they show up, if they don't have a direct like sales call to action, that they're just adding noise to the world. But what we discover most often with my clients is that as they continue to consistently show up with messaging that is evergreen, that is about their values and who they are and why they founded this company to begin with, those are the things that actually build awareness and draw people in, so that the sales messages actually are more impactful in between. And it can be really uncomfortable to show up and say something without having a next direct action to ask people to take. That there isn't like this event I want you to come to, but instead it's really just cultivating relationships and building community.
Can we maybe here talk a little bit about time?
Yeah.
One thing that often comes up when talking to fellow entrepreneurs is I sometimes have this feeling that they have really sprint expectations. So
Mm.
I'm gonna hire Amy. We're gonna do the whole hoopla. It will take us, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 months to just go from top down and then put things in place. And then it almost feels like they want instant results, that they don't have the patience or the resources sometimes.
Yeah.
But these things, they take time. I mean, at least from what I know, you have to look at it almost like a train leaving the station. So it starts very slowly, and then it builds that momentum up over time. And in your experience so far, what would you maybe estimate is the average amount of time to set up the foundation?
Mm-hmm.
And then what would be an average amount of time where, if we don't do things super salesy, super aggressive, to get to the point of seeing the results that we want to see? Just
Sure.
ballpark numbers.
Yeah. So my process of doing like a major brand marketing strategy that is giving you at least a year plan that I hope will be replicable in future years, right? That you'll use it as a template going forward, is a 4-month process. And the main reason why it takes 4 months is largely because the clients tend to get a little uncomfortable at parts of the process, just like we talked about, and they aren't ready to implement yet. And so they're still digging into, what do I really have to say that I think is important for a period of time before we can actually put that that messaging into a real executable plan. So that's just getting the plan. And then the results, I'm always hoping to cultivate the kind of short path to what you need to build in your business, and the long-term thinking towards You just want continuous and long-term visibility so that that group of people who really love you and what you do continues to grow steadily and sustainably throughout your whole business. So that's long-term, ever-growing strategy. But I'm also going to look at, okay, you want to earn, 20,000 extra in the next 2 months. How can we get there? What is the thing we can sell right now? And how can we make sure that that launch happens so that you get that influx of revenue that you need to continue on and keep being visible in the future?
One thing I almost forgot to ask you is, so far we were talking how you help people by coaching them, whether that's one-on-one, group, whatever. um, do you ever also do a done for you? Could somebody reach out to you for that as well?
Yes, so we will build a brand and marketing strategy for you, and then we ask you to implement it. Or there are select clients we've worked with for some of them going on 10 years now, where our team, my small team, will execute that plan. So we'll post on social media for you. We will, actually write the blog post draft that you've had in the back of your mind forever, but never actually put it out into the world. All of those services are pretty select, and I don't want to run an agency, frankly. So I've never built a team large enough to execute for everyone. But we have great relationships with our clients and can usually come to an agreement on how to continue that relationship moving forward and help them make their plans happen. Right now, I'm doing a lot of game planning for clients where I'll give you your month's marketing activities in a calendar. Like, here's your to-do list, entrepreneurs, go do it. And we're working together that way. So that has been a really nice way to not have to actually press play on my clients' videos and posts and all of the things that they create, but to give them really a structure for what they should be doing week by week and let them go do it.
Okay, so one more question and then I'm done. Well, I do still have two more, but those are the classical ones. Do you have any particular zones of genius where, like, let's say I know that majority of my clients' perfect platform for me is LinkedIn, you're the go-to lady, or do you cover all of them, or are you specialized in some of them?
That's a great question. I have always been the go-to marketing everything person in my specific circle. And so I'm more of a generalist. I know a little bit about every platform, everything that you could be doing in your marketing. But I will say that I'm most passionate about email marketing. And so if we work together, I'm going to really build out your email marketing as a space where you connect with people often, regularly, with results that actually bring in dollars in your business.
Well, I take back. So I have another question. I mean, now this is something, and being the fail coach is such an amazing thing, because even though this is a 30-minute thing, you can always say, fuck it, it's aligned with my brand. So we are failing again. It's not like every single time I fail at that, but I just like a very quick one. Email marketing. So
Mm-hmm.
there are still a whole lot of people out there saying email marketing's not dead, email marketing is working amazing, and so on. But then on the other hand, we have Gmails and stuff who are really working hard to put all of those things into promotions, spam, and
Yep.
so on. And I mean, I personally have worked with clients with huge email lists. Like, we're talking millions of emails.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were looking at the analytics, the curve was just downwards with, and now again, Apple implemented this whole new thing with emails being opened at their end instead of on your phone and not giving you the data. So, okay, you're a huge fan of email. So
Mhm.
why do you still say that email is still the thing to do?
So for me, it's largely about ownership and control. Email is a platform that is permission based, or it better be permission based, or I'm going to yell at you, right? You received permission from your subscribers to speak to them when you choose to do so. And so no matter what is going on in the world, or if Facebook is down, or if the algorithm is changing on Instagram, you still have access to show up in someone's inbox. And largely for me, social media is such a less dependable space, because you're really renting your space and time there. These other companies own these platforms and can change whatever they want any day. And you might not show up to your people as you wish to show up to them. And so email, text messaging, like those direct one-on-one, I have your info and therefore I can show up and say something. Those are spaces that you should really spend a lot of time building relationships in, so that people do find and use and open and pay attention to your messages there.
Well, text messaging, yes, I agree, because there's no one filtering that in
Yep.
between. If you use a good service, the messages will come through. I do disagree a little bit on, like, what point is having a huge asset? Yes, it is mine, but if gatekeepers like
Mm.
Gmail or Google Workspace or Microsoft Exchange and so on, those gatekeepers are just not getting the messages through, and most people really don't check their promotional lists and spam folders and so on, and they just get deleted after, I don't know, 30 days or something automatically. So yes, I do have a huge asset that I own, but when I do send something out, I'm happy if, like, just a small fraction of people actually get that into their inbox. So here's like my take on it, seeing
Yeah.
it from both sides, people talking about it like it's the best thing still, and then seeing with companies who we work with huge email lists, and how those numbers just decline and decline and decline year after year after year. But okay,
I think
let's not get too deep into that, because I know it's a big and
it's a huge
controversial topic.
topic. Yeah.
Yeah. I still have the two questions. So the first
Sure.
one is, and you already said that in the beginning, but let's recap it. So who should reach out to you, and what's the best way to get in touch with you? Is it website, LinkedIn? What is it?
Sure. So, like I said, I work with service providing business owners. So if you provide a service to a client, if you are a copywriter, a designer, a videographer, a photographer, if you are an artist, someone who provides services, not products, I can work with you on building your business. You can find me. I'm most active on Instagram. So at Amy Jacobus, no spaces or punctuation or anything, just at AMYJACOBUS, and come say hi. I am in my DMs personally in there, so I will chat with you.
Perfect. And then the last question, um, is just the golden nugget of wisdom. So this was a chat, a not too long chat. So probably I forgot to ask something, or there's something you really want the audience to take away from this chat. And so, yeah, the floor is yours. Take it away.
I think the most important thing to think about with marketing, because I do feel we talked a little bit about how there's often a fear of marketing, or a discomfort in showing up for yourself that can be really prevalent in this group of thoughtful, brilliant, creative, and kind business owners out there. I want service providers to know that grounding your plan in this purpose, in this humanity, and really actively engaging with both the analytical side of marketing and the creative side of marketing is what can take away that marketing gets a bad rap for being pushy and sneaky. If you approach it rooted in your personal, your company values, you realize that marketing doesn't have to be those things. It's just a toolkit of tactics to build meaningful relationships. And that's what I want people to know.
Perfect. A beautiful ending to a lovely chat. No, I really, really enjoyed it. I mean, it was lovely chatting with you the first time we met privately on Zoom, and this was again an amazing conversation. I absolutely do feel that you dropped quite a lot of the value bombs, and
Thank you.
so thank you for that, Amy.
Thank you for having me. It was
Yeah,
very fun.
thank you for being my guest, and thank you for everything you shared. For I really just appreciate you for who you are, and yeah, I wish you nothing but all the best on the journey going forward, and I'm very much looking forward to staying in touch with you
Yes.
and to have these conversations at some point in the future again. So
Let's
thank you
argue
so
about
much.
email more. I'm open. I'm ready for it.
Well, Amy, take care. Have a lovely rest of the Monday and the week ahead of us, and enjoy your journey. Take
You
care.
too. You too. Bye.
Okay, so this was Amy, a very lovely lady. I mean, she's absolutely fun to talk to. She always shows up so energetically, and yeah, the conversation is just super easy. So what I do love about her is her approach to marketing, marketing business, because I am, as you all know, a big fan of that top down strategy, plan, and then execution. I've just done too much of just let's go out there, let's wing it, and it didn't work. As you know, my past failed stories. So those are some of the lessons that I've learned through my own experience, and it's always great when I get a guest like her who really does it in that right way, starting with the why. Simon Sinek always says everything starts with a why, and he is right on that. So I'm just inviting all of you, if you are a service-based business, reach out to Amy. I think she's tagged in this post on LinkedIn, or as she said, you can find her on Instagram and have a chat with her, and just see where that goes, and maybe she can really help you put all of those missing marketing pieces in place, make a clear strategy, because it's so much easier to execute on things when you have clear clarity. Okay, I'm rambling again. So, guys, thank you for watching live. Thank you for watching on the replay. We'll be back a few Mondays from now. We still have two guests, and then, like I mentioned, we're done with the LinkedIn lives. I'll see what I can come up with next. But yeah, this style, the coffee chat conversation, will be ending. Take care and see you soon.